Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said in order to ensure that there is no corruption and leakages, the government's procurement process can no longer be conducted without tenders. In his first address to civil servants this morning, he said the image of the public service, which has been tarnished, must be restored and that it can only be done through change.
Yang pertama bagi saya adalah good governance ini, iaitu perolehan kerajaan mesti telus dan terbuka. Kerana kerja menggunakan rundingan terus dengan menggunakan wang untuk parti dan untuk peribadi itu terlalu berleluasa dan ini dihentikan.
Melihat secara kasar keadaan dalam kapal SCS-1 seperti besi buruk yang tidak diketahui bila tarikh ia akan siap kerana telah tersasar jauh dari tarikh asalnya. Asal juga menekankan mengenai laporan 15% daripada peralatan sudah usang adalah tidak tepat kerana ia dalam proses menjadi usang. Sepanjang lawatan itu, Azhar juga menerangkan ke mana perginya 6 bilion ringgit dibelanjakan.
Assalamualaikum and hi. You are with me, Adi Ardini, and today I am your host. Public procurement is defined as the acquisition of supplies, services and works by the government following Malaysia's current rules and regulations to achieve a set of objectives. Government procurement accounts for 10 to 15% of gross domestic product (GDP) of an economy. A large amount is allocated for procurement activities to ensure that public needs are provided in respective countries, and public procurement is one of the important economic activities from the government. According to Ministry of Finance Malaysia, the main objective of Malaysian government procurement is to achieve value for money. In 2017, the World Bank outlined 7 principles of good public procurement, which are value for money, economy, integrity, fit for purpose, efficiency, transparency, and fairness. Following the World Bank procurement principles, Malaysia has also established public procurement principles that are in line with the National Development Policy to move towards being a developed nation. Malaysia's public procurement principles consist of public accountability, transparency, value for money, open and fair competition, and fair dealing. Despite having dual documented objectives and principles of public procurement from year to year, there have been issues and problems of public procurement reported in the Auditor General's report. It is also found that direct negotiation mode was reported with the highest issue of public procurement, while the procurement mode with the least public procurement weaknesses is direct purchase. Public procurement issue can lead to integrity. Public procurement is vulnerable to procurement, fraud and corruption because it involves huge amounts of spending money. Among the types of procurement fraud are conflict of interest, bid rigging, and awarding contracts to unqualified contractors and cronies.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, so my name is Muhammad Nur Imami Ramlan as your reporter. So in this session, we will listen to the point of view from the expertise. So let's go.
As you all know, public procurement is the process of gaining goods or even services for the purpose of public goods, okay, from the parts of the government. And in Malaysia, public procurement is common, whereby all government officers need to do their procurement in order to fulfill various projects and programs. However, okay, if we refer to various documents, we can see that our public procurement in Malaysia is not that transparent. And according to SPRM latest analysis, 40% of cases of corruptions in Malaysia actually coming from the issues of procurement. Why? This is because procurement involve billions, millions. This is actually the birth of misuse of fund, misuse of authority and power, and issues of procurement, why there's a numbers of corruptions, why issues of corruptions majority come from procurement is because of numbers of factors. One of it is when they procure too expensive. So this is an issue when the government officers, they did not accountable for every spending they made. They did not take it as their full responsibility whenever they spend. And also the issues of subcon, already got the contracts, but you do not have intention to implement the contract. You subcon it to the other party. So these are the various issues of public procurement in Malaysia and being addressed yearly by the Auditor General report and as well as SPRM. But I'm not saying that it is purely dirty, but all these issues is actually tarnishing the image of public procurement in Malaysia.
In the Littoral Combat Ship LCS project, it involves the grand corruption. Grand corruption is the abuse of high-level power that benefits the few at the expense of the many. It also involves the higher-ranking government officials and elected officials who exploit opportunities that are presented through government work. LCS project started in December 2011, where the Ministry of Defence awarded a 9 billion contract to Boosted Naval Shipyard Sendian Berhad, BNS, for 6 littoral combat ships as part of the Royal Malaysian Navy's Fleet Renewal Plan.
Rakyat berhak mendapat penjelasan berhubung isu pembekalan kapal tempur pesisir LCS dan kerajaan tidak akan berselindung dalam hal ini kerana ia berkaitan soal integriti. Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob menegaskan isu pembekalan aset tentera laut Diraja Malaysia TLDM itu yang melibatkan kontrak berjumlah 9.13 bilion ringgit perlu dijelaskan dengan teliti supaya tidak berlaku spekulasi dan rakyat tidak membuat keputusan sendiri.
Then, what related LCS with public procurement? The procurement of the project is contractor-driven, which is done through direct negotiations. Since 2007, BNS had repeatedly submitted letters of request to Ministry of Defence for a letter of intent (LOL) to be issued to start the planning and building of the LCS based on the 1995 privatisation agreement. It found that the government, as part of the direct negotiation project, had paid 6 billion to the BNS for the 5 LCS but had yet to take delivery of any. The government also had to make an advance payment of 1.36 billion to BNS. BNS had also met the then Defence Minister Zahid, aside from sending several letters to the Prime Minister at that time, which Datuk Seri Najib Razak, who also holds the position of Ministry of Finance, and to the Deputy Prime Minister at that time, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin.
LCS issue is actually the other public procurement projects. Okay, same like other public procurement projects. It's just that this issue being raised out because we pay but we get nothing. If we can refer back to the chronology whereby the agreement was signed back in 2011 and 2013 and 14, they already started their work. Suppose they should deliver 6 naval ships on 2022, but until now there is no ships being delivered to the government. So these issues has been raised by the Public Accounts Committee, okay, because this is a huge spend. This is actually one of the biggest spending of the government. Up to initially it should be 9 billion, but then it goes up after revisions and problems. It goes up to 11 billion. So this is huge. And people questioning. Okay, people questioning what happened. People want to know what happened. Where's the ships that we ordered? But what makes the LCS unable to be delivered is on the issues of financial of the companies, which is the Boston. And this company is actually GLCs, but then I've heard the issues of instability of financial for this company already 10-20 years ago. So government is actually handing some amount of money, huge amount of money, to an unstable company. To an unstable company with the hope that the unstable company can produce what the government needs. But then still, ahli parlimen pun raise out the issues. People are raising up the issues, but the government are not being transparent. They did not. We have the reports. The reports made by the previous Auditor General Tan Sri Amrin Buang on what makes the LCS issues happen. The report is there, but it is not being publicized. The public is not be made known of this report. Even this report has been unclassified. Unclassified means this report is no longer confidential. We can share it with the public, but still we are still waiting the sharings from the government on what makes these LCS issues happen.
Assalamualaikum and hi. So with me today, Aiman, in this public interview session. So we will approach some public to ask them regarding the issue of public procurement. So let's go. Okay, so saya nak tanya dengan Pakcik berkenaan dengan perolehan kerajaan. Pakcik pernah dengar tak?
Perolehan kerajaan ni nak kejap ni rekod-rekod ni masuk TV ke ni nak?
Masuk TV.
Alamak, itulah pakcik pun dah lama tak masuk TV ni. Dulu yelah, masa zaman muda-muda kita dulu kan. Selalu juga masuk bintang RTM dulu, masuk
Pakcik saya. So sekarang ni saya nak tanya berkenaan dengan perolehan kerajaan.
Oh, perolehan kerajaan tadi tu.
Apa yang Pakcik faham atau yang Pakcik tahu berkenaan isu ni?
Oh, pasal perolehan awam tu jelah. Kita pun sekarang kat dalam Malaysia ni selalulah dengar kan berita-berita, pakcik buka TV tu buka dengar cerita berita pasal Perdana Menteri tu duk cerita apa tu monumen public procurement tu kan. Yelah, apa yang pakcik tahu pasal public procurement ni, kerajaan tu kalau nak buat satu projek tu dia akan open satu tender lah kan. Tak silap pakcik lah, open tender untuk syarikat-syarikat yang ada dekat dalam Malaysia ni. Itu je lah pakcik tahu. So pakcik pun biasalah, kita kan dah tua kan, fikirannya tak ingat sangat kan. Apa yang kita tahu je lah. Kadang duduk sembang lah dekat kedai-kedai kopi tu petang-petang kan, pasal mendalam ni ada juga kita bercerita. So itu saja ke yang nak tahu ni?
Okey lah Pakcik, saya nak tanya itu je. Terima kasih Pakcik saya.
Baiklah, sama-sama nak.
Okay, so that's all for the first question. So we will continue to find the other public to ask regarding the issue. Let's go. Okay, so we move to our next public to ask regarding the issue of public procurement. So let's go. Bang, nama abang siapa bang?
Nama saya?
Nama abang?
Faiz.
Bang, saya kenal bang motor ni bang. Motor Pakcik Zahid.
Lah Bapak Den.
Lah bapak bang.
Bapak Den.
Oh bang. Okey lah. Dah ngam-ngam jumpa anak beranak ni. Tadi saya dah tanya dekat bapak bang berkenaan isu perolehan kerajaan. Dalam Englishnya public procurement. Saya nak tanya lagi satu benda yang berkenaan dengan isu ni, iaitu LCS, Electoral Commercial. Abang pernah dengar isu ni?
Oh, pernah. Okey.
Apa pendapat abang? Apa yang abang nak komen lah berkenaan isu ni?
Okey. Apa yang saya tahu pasal LCS tu macam salah satu usaha kerajaan dalam apa cakap tadi? Public procurement. Sebab kerajaan saya tahu dah spend 6 bilion untuk projek LCS tu. Tapi projek tu still tak go on lagi, tak ada output lagi. And then yang saya tahu yang terlibat masa tu pada pemerintahan Datuk Seri Najib kita. And then yang menteri yang in charge tu Tan Sri Syamuddin dengan Datuk Seri Zahid Hamidi. And apa yang saya tahu tentang public procurement ni, benda ni senang terlibat dengan aktiviti macam corruption. Sebab apa yang saya cakap tadi, kerajaan dah keluarkan duit tau. Macam dia dah nego dengan orang yang terlibat tu lah untuk proses projek buat kapal SCS tu. Tapi sampai sekarang hasil tu tak ada. Gone. Elak. Itu yang saya agak kecewa. And benda ni saya rasa agak tak wajar, and government must take action benda ni. So far itu saya punya pendapat.
Okay bang, terima kasih.
Terima kasih diterima bang.
Okay, so that's all for our public interview session. So I will pass back to the host.
In conclusion, the LCS scandal is still a developing story with various politicians and interested parties issuing new statements every day. Whether the public will get answers to the burning questions on the project still remains to be seen. Malaysia government need to be firm in building mega projects like LCS so that all objectives in public procurement can be achieved. The government and the parties involved should have an attitude of transparency because it is a critical aspect in public procurement. Due to lack of transparency can open opportunities for fraud and corruption. In the hope that Malaysia can stand in the eyes of the world as a country that leads by example of various sectors. I am Adi Ardini. Goodbye and Assalamualaikum.